Hello to everybody from the 4 nations on the planet. It's What Chaos at Hurricanes at the Garden. We've been hanging out, meeting listeners, drinking NA beers. Thank you to Jack for handing that over to us, watching the game. This is, of course, presented by Bauer. They got tons of sales going on. 30% off Nexus Sink and Easton S17 sticks, up to 40% off select skates, and so much more. Head to Bauer.com, click sale, and shop away. And using the code FREESHIPWC, you can get free shipping. We have a final set for the 4 nations face-off. It will be Canada and the United States, and I thought that would be the brunt of the conversation, Peter Blackburn, but I'll tell you what, we have to talk about a wild last few minutes of Canada-Finland. Bonkers.
We almost had our first bad game of the tournament. I think you might be able to say you still kind of did for most of the game. I don't know what's going on right now. Sorry, technical difficulties. Hello. Almost had our first bad game of the tournament, but in the final 90 seconds, a lot of drama.
Yeah, one of my main notes was, all right, so we're getting the Canada-USA final, and Jordan Binnington is coming off a shutout. Uh-oh. The only rule of Jordan Binnington, don't let him get hot. Do not let that monster, idiot, life ruiner get hot.
Especially when they have a winner-take-all game at the Garden.
And it appeared that's how it was tracking. But he allows that one goal early in the third, and you say, okay, well, at least he's not super hot. Well, we still have our story. It's going to be USA-Canada, et cetera, et cetera. Canada holds a 4-1 lead in this game with 100 seconds left to go, and Mikael Granlund scores twice in 23 seconds. And Hurricanes, when I say Bonkersville, I mean Bonkersville. We met a nice Finnish friend named Marco. He was telling us about adopting pets.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a Finnish thing, but he was just he was our guy. And we're looking for Marco. We're jumping up and down, and he was telling us, don't forget, there was an international game one time where the U.S. came back against the USSR. This could have been Finland's miracle on ice. And for a second, I kind of thought it was happening.
I know. And I hate that we were in a position where, we've talked about this. We all wanted Canada to win because we wanted the rematch on Thursday, but God, it would have been so funny if they blew that. And I would have taken USA-Finland on Thursday night if it meant that Canada blew a 4-1 lead in the last 100 seconds of the game.
So how do you feel right now if you are Canada? Because you got there, but neither of our predictions was Canada ekes one out. We said there's 2 obvious outcomes. Canada wins 9-2.
I said 15.
Or Finland wins 2-0. And we're all just very confused. And the way it ends up playing out is watch. McKinnon gets the watch, player of the game. But first period, I was talking to Sean, Canada came out and was like, we have the 2 best players. Connor McDavid dominates that first period with a little help. We'll talk about that later as a reason as to why Finland is out of this tournament. But McDavid dominates, McKinnon dominates. McDavid now, and I think McKinnon actually, both tied for the tournament lead in points, and they were coasting in this game. I don't know if the end of this game should be seen as just a little blip on the radar, a little scare, or is Canada white-knuckling the next few days knowing that they are barely still in this tournament?
No, I think you got most of what you want if you're a Canadian hockey fan, and they got off to the perfect start. Obviously, that leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. But I think it's easy enough to say, all right, that was just, like you said, a blip on the radar. We're moving forward. We're looking for our revenge against USA. Obviously, you would prefer to have a situation where Jordan Binnington gets a shutout. You feel very good about everything that happened. But like I think this team might just have like a little bit of asshole in them.
Yes, good for them. I'm distracted because I'm keeping an eye on the chat and what they're saying, and in doing so, can see our feed and what we look like. Lord forgive me, I think we look better here in Hurricanes than we do on our set. Which in our set was like a painstakingly curated thing that looks beautiful, but this atmosphere, I'm not just sucking off Hurricanes, although I will if I have to. This looks amazing.
It does look very good, and my hat rocks.
Your hat rocks. You're getting a lot of compliments on it. We've met so many whatnuts, which is amazing, and we've tried to convert some whatnuts. I'll be honest. Some children came up, and they saw a Brad Marchand jersey, and they were like, is Brad Marchand going to be here? And I was like, no.
He's doing
you guys
other
listen
stuff.
to the podcast, though?
Yeah.
Take a little card. Give it to your folks or whatever. We've met some core members, we'll say, of the What Chaos community. We can maybe talk about that a little later. A main secret member has come out wearing even the Stinger shirt. But let's get back to this game. So, USA, Canada, rematch set. What does it look like this time around?
I mean, I think it's going to look largely similar to what you saw the first time. Probably not exactly the same, especially off the opening draw. I wouldn't expect that you're going to get the fireworks that you did the first time around. But in terms of like actual play, I think Crosby's going to be better. I think that USA might be a little bit worse defensively just because I don't know if they can be as good as they were on Saturday night. But I think you're going to see a pretty similar game, and these are the two best teams in the tournament. And I think they're going to show why again on Thursday night.
I think Makar being back and that power play getting to operate the way it wants to. Not that Makar was a big difference maker in this game, but I think that Makar being back in that final will be huge. And as you said, like, USA isn't putting on that masterclass twice in a row against the same opponent. I would love for them to, but another part of that is the fact that McDavid bounced back from really being rendered useless in the final two periods of that game on Saturday. I know that he was still maybe Canada's best player because he was their only goal scorer, but Connor McDavid went bye-bye once Charlie McAvoy started hitting him. And today, he was all the way back. As I hinted, he was given a little bit of help from someone whose name has the word hint in it. Rupe Hintz comes and just absolutely gives the game away in the first 4 minutes. Just awful turnover. And then Connor McDavid spends the next, 5 to 10 seconds being like, I am going to wait out this space and score a goal, which he does, an absolute beauty. And now all of a sudden Connor McDavid's back. So we'll do more Binnington talk in a little bit, but a big part of this is if you were worried that Connor McDavid was shook by Saturday night's game, as a Canada fan, don't be worried because he was a monster today in the first period.
And as you pointed out earlier today, now Canada is the betting favorite to win this tournament, I believe, at this point in time, which, I don't know, do you think that's fair at this point?
Buddy, they were the betting favorite to win this tournament during the first period of this game. I believe TNT flashed a graphic with the betting odds. The United States was maybe minus 110, and Canada was minus 105. They were not yet to the final, and they were favored to win, which I understand we do that sort of thing in March Madness, but my goodness, they gave up on Finland. We did not. We hung in there until the last 100 seconds.
Yeah, but do you think it's fair that Canada is now favored to win the tournament? Just based off of like roster, are you confident that that's the number one pick to win the tournament?
No, I think
is it
that
disrespect
Canada,
to USA?
I think that Canada has the most talented players, and I don't mean they have the most players who are talented. I mean their players are the most talented.
You also got to remember,
and I think that
you got to remember with those odds that the U.S. presumably is getting like a home ice bump on it, so they're projecting Canada to be even better than the odds suggest.
And U.S. not only are they going to be at home, Matthew Tkachuk right now is at the spa, just getting himself perfect for Thursday.
And Charlie
McAvoy
McDavid
gets the day.
And Connor
Connor
Hellebuyck.
So your best defenseman from the last game is getting the day off to rest. Matthew Tkachuk, who is the spiritual leader of this team and the tied for the top goal scorer in this tournament before Canada played today, gets to rest up. And the best goalie in this tournament, bring the Nordiques back, says that man. We're working on it.
Oh, we got a piss jersey. It's Stan. Stan's wearing the piss jersey.
Piss jersey sighting at Hurricanes.
That's also, by the way, the second time in What Chaos history we've had somebody walk past us and say, bring the Nordiques back.
For no reason.
For no reason at all.
no
Famously, we got, was it a Joe Sakic jersey?
Yep,
Yeah.
Joe Sakic in New
We
York.
got Sean a Joe Sakic jersey, and a guy in New York just started yelling about bringing the Nordiques back. I love the power that people think we have.
I got a question about goaltending for you. Based off of Connor Hellebuck being sat while he's in the midst of a very, very hot streak for this team, plus Jordan Binnington maybe getting some confidence if you want to erase like the last 100 seconds of this game, has the goaltending gap closed any bit in your mind?
No.
Are you worried at all that Connor Hellebuck sitting is a bad thing for Team USA?
No, because, again, if anything happens to the goaltending for the United States, and granted, if something happens in the game, it means you're already losing and you'll be in a hole that will be tough to dig out of. But if anything happens to the United States goaltending, they have Jake Ottinger, and he's another really good starting goaltender.
Yeah, but if Jake Ottinger's coming in, that means something's gone very wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at that point, it would be no good times.
And also, I'm saying this based off vibes, not really having looked it up. I don't think Connor Hellebuck has spent this much time off between games at any point this year.
I wouldn't
In
imagine.
his life?
He's backups have played like 5-6 games for Winnipeg this year. So this is quite the layoff for him.
Well, it should be noted, this is also supposed to be a break for the players, so maybe Connor Hellebuck is going to end up having the best of both worlds there. As for the goaltending in Canada, I liked the idea, for the sake of how exciting this tournament has been, of Jordan Binnington entering a rematch with USA, in which he made some really good saves on Saturday, but the 2 goals he allowed were absolutely horrible, and he needed to kind of build up some confidence again, although maybe he doesn't because he's an absolute psychopath. This game was looking to be that game because while Finland didn't generate much offensively in the first period, they were all over it in the second period, and Binnington stood tall, and I was like, okay, well, Binnington is getting his act together, going into a winner-take-all at the Garden, sound familiar, but then the third period of this game happens, and it's not just 1, it's 3, and it's 2 of them in 23 seconds. If anybody from that team should feel like they just kind of escaped one here, it's Jordan Binnington. So I don't feel any better about the Canadian goaltending, and that's coming from somebody who going into the tournament thought Canada's goaltending problem was being exaggerated. I didn't think all of Canada's defensemen would get hurt, though.
Yeah, I mean, if Jordan Binnington if Canada blew that game and Jordan Binnington gave up a tough goal to give up the tying goal, I just don't think he would have been able to play St. Louis Blues games in Canada moving forward. I don't think they would have let him across the border. So I was kind of rooting for it, I'll be honest.
Justin Cox says, I'm rooting for Canada and no chance they should be the favorite over USA. I strongly agree. Sean noted the home ice advantage. Of course, with that comes line matching. But Canada showed today that they can jumble their lines and get something really good out of it. Although I believe Canada was home in this one. I think they were technically the home team.
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll effort that.
I believe you're right.
Yes. So they can they were able to line match today, I suppose, but USA at home, Andrew, like their roster is better constructed to win a tournament. And their roster is definitely better constructed to bully a team. And they can't have that be their identity because their bullies score goals.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say not even close. Like, these two teams are very close. I would say goaltending is the great equalizer, but, like, you're talking about Canada has the better upper echelon talent. They have the better special teams, and I think that's probably it. And then you're looking at a better blue line from the USA and better goaltending. So it's pretty even.
Yes, but that's why I would say that Canada shouldn't, like, that not that it shouldn't be close, but if the teams are close, if you think the USA is a little better than Canada, which I think is probably my feeling, then if USA is playing at home and they're resting guys, then they should absolutely be favored. But it being close to a pick'em makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what's out the window. Canada, any chance of you doing the, hey, it's a Mickey Mouse tournament? No one cares about it. It's just the All-Star break. No. You had to bust your ass to get to the final, and you did. You are trying.
And
we all agree.
And now everyone cares. Everyone cares. We saw it this weekend. Everyone cares about this tournament. And based off of the first USA-Canada matchup, you are going to get so many people tuning into this game outside of the hockey world, outside of just USA-Canada. I think basically the entire world is going to be watching this game and extremely invested in it, and it really matters. The stakes are very high.
Chad Banks says, Americans are delusional. Generally, yes, we are. But Chad adds, that first game was essentially even. I think that Binnington made some saves that I didn't expect him to make, and Binnington let in 2 absolutely Jordan Binnington-esque terrible goals.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not saying that nobody's saying that the U.S. killed Canada in the first game.
They beat them.
They beat them, and they beat them emphatically, not in a way that, like, they smoked them, but it was a real statement game from the U.S. Like, you can have a statement game without it being a blowout or being the margins being huge. That was a well-fought game. That's why everybody was talking about how fucking awesome it was because the game was really good. And yeah, Crosby wasn't good, and McDavid was quiet after the first 4 minutes. I think some of those things are going to change, and it's going to push it a little bit more in favor of Canada. But I also think that, like, saying that the USA is delusional for being ecstatic about what you saw from your team in that game, that's a crazy takeaway.
And that same commenter, by the way, anybody who's in the chat and watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. I know that we have some super chats and we will get to them, but that person noted Canada essentially stopped playing halfway through the game. I don't think that Canada really gave up in that game. I think that I think that both teams were kind of going balls to the wall. Nothing's going to be as exciting as the first 9 seconds were, but Cam says the Larkin goal on Saturday wasn't a bad one. There's a counter to that. Yes, it was. It was a bad goal off the rush, and I think that 99.9% of NHL goalies, starting or backup, make the first save there. They give up a rebound, probably, but they make the first save there. And Binnington let it in cleanly.
I don't know. The Gensel goal was so bad that I'm willing to remove any benefit of the doubt from Jordan Binnington for the rest of that game.
What Chaos Memes, who I will say is here,
yes,
and introduced himself to us, a real mind bleep, said, just overheard a guy in a Canada jersey say, what is it, dress like an idiot day about Pete and Deej? Things are getting contentious.
That's right.
I believe that.
I look great. So.
I believe you. He's mouthing to me, happened. I don't know if it happened. I'll say, What Chaos Memes is a very charming person, and that's not what I was guessing.
I was expecting like a basement troll.
Yeah,
See,
that's what I wanted.
The profile picture of Memes is mustache Zach Hyman. So that's just kind of the image I had of them the whole time.
You thought he looked like Zach Hyman?
A little bit.
That would be very funny if Zach Hyman was actually Chaos Memes. But no, handsome gentleman, not at all like the absolute basement dweller that you'd expect somebody to be when they run a What Chaos Memes account. But a nice little discovery on our part.
Oi, Mike, oi, my Mike, says, I'm just here to defend Binnington. Look, you get to if you want to. Yeah. I thought that he was really good in the first game against Sweden. I thought that the goals he allowed were 1,000% everyone has to agree bad, but apparently everyone doesn't have to agree. And I think now he is in the final, and it's easy to defend him because he's there, and we know what happens when he's in one of these games in Boston and can break a lot of hearts when everyone has counted him out. So defend him, root for him. We're calling it like we see it. He had a little bit of an oopsie-daisy today, and he had a big oopsie-daisy on Saturday. But as long as Binnington is in the big game, you should have a little more faith in him than he deserves. That's the way I'll put it.
Yeah, he's a psycho, and I don't think he's trustworthy, but it's different from the Stu Skinner conversation, but like Jordan Binnington has an A game. We know that, especially in big games. He knows how to show up. So, like, it does make me a little bit nervous. Do I want Jordan Binnington to ruin my life in a winner-take-all game in Boston for the second time in 6 years? No. Would it kill me? Yes. But I'm still choosing to believe right now that he's the asshole that he's looked to be at points in this tournament.
Rona says, Canada outchanced USA in Game 1. Makar being healthy will be the difference this time. McDavid will be snorting, smelling salts, and flying. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, and that was basically my initial thought on like how it'll go for Canada in the final. But if McAvoy scared some sort of something into McDavid, then I'd be worried if I were Canada. But when I was talking to Wyshynski about this, because I ran into him at the Garden, like I fear that the blueprint now with Connor McDavid can be like it was with Tom Brady, where people are like, "Oh, just pressure him up the middle," and you're like, "Isn't that obvious? Shouldn't every team be trying to do that? To be like, oh, just hit him early." That should be obvious for McDavid, but Wish noted, like, McDavid's hard to hit. Yeah. He's slippery. You try to hit him, and you're just going to end up running around in your own zone the whole game. So if McAvoy can somehow repeat what he did against McDavid, which I am not expecting at all, then Canada's in trouble. Otherwise, Canada's got a hell of a shot, especially if they go on the power play, and Makar has beaten his illness, and he's ready to go, which he was... Like I said, he didn't knock my socks off today, but all I needed to see from Makar is that he's not sick anymore.
Yeah, and off the McDavid conversation, I don't think there is a single person who has been more disappointing in this tournament than Rupe Hintz. And Rupe Hintz with a tape-to-tape pass straight to McDavid for the opening goal of this game ends up being way bigger than you thought it might be at the end of the day, based off of the final scoreline. But like Hintz was invisible up to this point in the tournament. And then as soon as he becomes visible, it's for the worst reason possible. And like as somebody whose jersey choices heading into this tournament were 1, Quinn Hughes, and 2, if I couldn't get a Quinn Hughes, give me a Rupe Hintz Finland jersey. I'm very glad that I didn't get either one of them. Like I would have felt like the biggest asshole in the world to end up with a Rupe Hintz jersey after the tournament that he just had.
I'll tell you what, I stopped by the pro shop today. They got a lot of Quinn Hughes jerseys if you want them. All the other jerseys, Jack Hughes, Charlie McAvoy, Jeremy Swayman even, were flying. People grabbing fists full of them. Those Quinn Hughes going untouched, brother. Yeah. I think you might be able to get one at a discount a little later on.
Yash in the chat said it brought up something that we talked about earlier. It is kind of wild that USA has been so good to this point without their big guns making a ton of noise, at least offensively. Like, you haven't gotten much from Jack Hughes. You haven't gotten much from Auston Matthews. Like, their big guys at the top of the lineup have not really produced offensively, and I think that would be something that should scare Canada if there is something.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jake Gensel being the guy is not something, even though we've learned from the last year and a half, confirmed, absolute stud, was not my pick to go off in this tournament for USA. Did not pick Zach Werenski to be the leader in points for USA in this tournament.
That's a you don't know ball thing.
It might be. Hey, my first pick for jerseys was Zach Werenski, and couldn't get it in time. So we're doing Eichel. Feel good about that. That's like the third Kachuk, so we'll take that. But we are at Hurricanes at the Garden, right across the street from TD Garden. If you are at the Bobby Orr statue, you can see us. Come right on in, hang out. We are having a blast. We're doing this now after Canada-Finland, and we will be doing USA-Sweden preview in just a little bit. And we'll do a USA-Sweden preview right now and say we got till the final game of round-robin play to have a meaningless game. Bravo, Four Nations. Yeah. For you to only have one, amazing. And we're still going. We're still pumped. It's going to be a madhouse still.
Yeah, but it being a meaningless game doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad game either.
Yeah.
Like, this was the first almost bad game of the tournament, and it still brought a little bit of drama at the end. I mean, USA-Sweden, the air is taken out of it a little bit, but it's still an important game
I feel
as
like
you're getting ready.
I feel like the Swedes are going to want this one. Like, they have had a very disappointing tournament.
Well, they haven't won it. They
That's
haven't
what
won
I'm
a
saying.
single game. Yeah.
Like, I feel like even if it doesn't mean anything, like, they're obviously not going to win, and the U.S. doesn't care. Like, the Swedes, I feel like, are going to show up.
And it's funny because if you're doing any sort of like stock watch or power rankings of teams in this tournament, if you were to say after Wednesday night, the Canada-Sweden game, that we'd come out of this wholly disappointed in Sweden, be like, how?
Right.
What did they do the rest of the tournament? But they still went to overtime in the second game, and we're still disappointed in them? Yeah, kinda. I thought they'd beat Finland. I thought that they would.
I thought there was a chance that they ended up being one of the two teams in the final. Like, if you told me that Canada or U.S., like, if Sweden did better than one of them, I wouldn't have been surprised.
All I got to say is Finland showed us something. We shat all over Finland. A lot of people did, and they had a pretty good tournament. Like, obviously today did not go the way that they wanted it to, but didn't give up. And, like, overall, they came away with a win. Came away with, what, just 2 points? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So
Their defense wasn't completely embarrassing like we thought it would be on paper.
Nico Mikkola had a very good tournament. So
they're scratching Matthias Ekholm in, now what is a must. It's what's the opposite of a must-win? Doesn't matter game. But when they thought it was a must-win, they were planning on scratching Matthias Ekholm, which that's a pretty big lever to pull. But I guess you try everything that you can. Speaking of lineup changes, tonight we get Chris Kreider in for Matthew Tkachuk. How does Chris Kreider play his way into the final? Not obviously at the expense of Matthew Tkachuk, but now this is a meaningless game. I want to come away from it with like roster questions or something. Have Chris Kreider score a hat trick.
Maybe he slides in for JT Miller after JT Miller goes to prison for what he does to Elias Pettersson tonight. There's still that juice heading into tonight, so I don't know. JT Miller versus Elias Pettersson when things don't really matter, I guess, for either team is less juicy, but I don't think anything's going to happen there. Does anybody expect anything to happen there?
I don't think Elias Pettersson's fighting, brother.
I was going to say, does he have a single fight in his career?
Probably not.
Right?
With JT Miller in the Canucks locker room.
Does he have a single glove drop, I should say?
He's helmet boxed a lot. He's done that a lot. Shout out to all the Whatnuts who have stopped by Hurricanes and have said hello, snapped pictures, made fun of us, shown us their jerseys. Shout out especially to Elisa, one of our goated Whatnuts, flew here for the event, had to go, and just said in the chat, her flight is overbooked.
Oh, no.
So she could have just stayed. Elisa, we miss you. We always appreciate you coming by. Space Squirrel asks, is there a bronze medal game? And much to our chagrin, there is not, because we would have paid, like, the get-in for USA-Canada. Can we effort that? Can we check game time, Sean? That's going to be $1 bajillion. I would still pay, like, $300 to go to some meaningless Finland, Sweden consolation game just to see more of this tournament.
I mean, the first matchup was pretty good between them.
Overtime.
Why would we turn it down? Elias Pettersson has not fought in his NHL career, according to hockeyfights.com.
He has famously argued.
Yes. Get-in price tonight, it's $285. Get-in price for the championship, USA versus Canada. Want to take a guess?
It's got to be over $1,000.
$1,044.
Wow.
$1,044 to get into the final Thursday.
So about a month ago, one of my friends offered me a ticket to that game. I think it was about like $240. And I was like, I was debating it because we didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know what the intensity level of the tournament was. There was a lot of doubt surrounding it. And so I was like, it's a lot, but whatever. I'm going to go. What am I going to say? No. Wow, that's a wild outfit. I said, sure, I'll do it. If we were talking about me saying no to that ticket right now, I don't know if I'd be here.
That would be
the biggest regret of my life.
That would be the chunk job of all chunk jobs. Sean, if possible, would you be able to give me a little more juice in my headphones, if that's possible? Yes. I think that's a little better. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. What else do we have from the chat? We have some lightly problematic stuff. We'll just skip over that. Amanda says, I'm so sad they're scratching Ekholm. Me too. Because this morning, if they had a Matthias Ekholm jersey at the Pro Shop, which is stocked with jerseys, I was probably going to get one. And then I was going to check my phone and see that he wasn't playing and that his tournament was over. Real bummer. Fortunately, they didn't have that or a Matthew Tkachuk jersey, because if they had a Matthew Tkachuk jersey, zero chance I was going to pass it up, which would bring the total to, 6 jerseys for this tournament that we have? Just absolutely going broke. Also being set up, though, by our friends at Fanatics. This Jack Eichel and that Barkov and that Auston Matthews, courtesy of our friends from Fanatics. They know that we love our jerseys. They know that we love dressing the set with jerseys, so they are our friends. Let's see.
Also, shout out to Bauer. I think Ricky is around here somewhere, but Bauer helped us out getting set up here as well. We love them. So.
I got my hair braided in part just so I could wear my Bauer beanie.
Oh, that's a good Bauer beanie.
I was wearing it today. It matches the jersey well. It's a good fit.
Ryan says, we knew Oettinger was starting, but I hadn't thought about the possibility of getting Swayman versus Ullmark tonight at the Garden.
Rob.
I feel like they should scratch Oettinger last second just for the home crowd here.
Yeah, that would have been the best.
Yeah.
I at least like that Swayman's dressing, though. And I don't like, though, that people were like, Oettinger should play so Swayman can dress in this game. If you're going with a backup in this game, just play Swayman.
Well, I mean, I think Oettinger deserves it, but I just for the sake of getting the Swayman versus Ullmark matchup, that would have been incredible.
I mean, at this point, you should just play both of them. The game doesn't matter for you.
That's true.
Like, just go preseason and flip one in the second period.
Yeah. Damn. But kind of like what you were saying earlier, Sean, if we see Oettinger on Thursday, that shit's over anyway. Right? Actually,
yeah, exactly.
no. Actually, you know what? I take that back. If Canada goes up big on the United States on Thursday, after what you saw tonight, are you particularly worried? You should think, coming back against a Canada team that is led by Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon, who's got a brand new watch, folks. He's the player of the game. I asked Pete 1 second before we went on here, what's even in those boxes that they're giving the players?
It's a nice little watch.
I see them come out with a box and then I turn it off. But you can come back against that team now. If Finland could do it, USA could do it.
I don't like the shade that Finland's catching even after their tournament's over.
What's that?
I don't like the shade that Finland's catching even after their tournament's over.
That's
if
not
Finland can do it, you can do it.
I mean, no, like as an American, that's a way that you should feel. You being the most problematically American of the three of us.
Happy holidays, by the way.
What's President's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I only recognize one president.
So, yeah.
We have from Michael Borland a super chat. Very correct. We have Marner versus Matthews in a winner-take-all. Something's got to give.
Holy moly. We have a whopper of a super chat from our friend Natalie.
Natalie the GOAT, tuning in from LA, loving the stream. Natalie, we are loving you.
You're the GOAT, Natalie.
We always are. And you know what, Natalie, while we're saying we love you so much, that's your 10 super chat. YouTube just told us. There's a little 10 next to it and some balloons.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Always helping us out. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's see. Your boy Lark says, chug your beer, Pete. Pete is drinking a real beer. I'm drinking a fake one. Sean, are you drinking that, nursing it? What are you doing?
It's almost gone.
Whoa. Sean is smoking a beer right now. The man is drunk, folks.
Wasted.
Absolute madness. Yeah, NHL hates friendship, says Tessa, depriving us of a Swaymark matchup on such a massive stage. Let's see. Oh, Angela notes on us getting all these jerseys. Buying a national jerseys is a real-life hack because a player cannot get traded out of their country. Wrong. Thomas Harley.
He didn't get traded out of the country.
Did he demand a trade from or he signed with a new country as a free agent?
He was never picked up by the States. The States said, we don't want you.
He was undrafted. He was undrafted.
And And you got to consider the Joey Decord situation that almost happened. Joey Decord could have played in this tournament for a team and then played for a different country in a future tournament.
Joey Decord, Swiss national team at the World Cup of Hockey.
We got some good puns, by the way, on the ticket prices. Mainly Rick Ticket. Very good.
Very good.
It's like Rick Talkit. WTG Paul says, non-alcoholic beers are sick. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, DJ. No one's told me it, so we are good on that front. Do we got more fights on Thursday, asks Michael Borland.
Probably not. But who's to say? I think if you're going to get one, it's probably going to be started by Canada. Yeah?
You think?
Yeah, because I think they have more to prove.
That's exactly what I was
they're not laying down for nobody, that kind of thing?
They kind of got their ass kicked by the States. We need to prove, especially like with the whole McAvoy, McDavid thing, like we need to prove that we're not soft. We got to kick some ass.
Yeah. We have a good point, by the way, from Metal Stoofs. McDavid minus McKinnon may make McDavid more meaningful. Maybe move up Marchand, McKinnon's make. They have some line suggestions, but we'll just stop it at McDavid minus McKinnon, because today's lineup change of going with McDavid between Point and Stone. I know that McDavid was playing with Reinhart and Marner on Saturday, but McDavid, Point, and Stone was awesome. And that just, I mean, McDavid with anybody is incredible, but they were the best line through probably the first two periods of the game and maybe the entire night until McKinnon was just like, I'm doing everything myself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that has given Americans, I guess, like the most hope to this point in the tournament is that Canada really didn't strike like real fire with their lines. And, you know, I don't know if you can say that that's happened at this point, but they seem to be finding a better groove with how to approach their lineup.
I still make a face at fourth line Marchand. So I'm like, they're going to need that guy. Especially one of the things that went wrong for Canada on Saturday, I would say, is that they did not play Brad Marchand enough, because USA was out-identitying the hell out of Canada. So maybe you want to bury him against Finland, and this is some sort of rest him up for Thursday thing, but John Cooper doesn't like him as much as we do.
He likes his own guys more. I think that's what you figured out during this tournament, is that he just likes his own guys.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I think it's fair. I'll just say that.
Yeah?
Why?
His guys are better.
Than Marchand?
Yes.
Like Braden Point's better than Marchand.
Yeah, of course.
Why would you not play him with a guy he's played with all year? Like, why would you not keep those lines together where you can?
Well, because your best line in their opening game was Marchand, Jarvis, and Point. Like, and then for Marchand to not really play all that much in the Saturday night game when you're kind of getting outworked by the USA, that I had a problem with that.
I mean, that I think is a different conversation. But I'm just saying, as far as Cooper favoring his guys over Marchand, like I think that's fair for a couple reasons.
Everybody who is watching, by the way, on YouTube, please, if you would smash the like button. And if you are new and just checking us out, or if you're listening at Hurricanes, wherever, subscribe. Especially on YouTube. We like the subs there. Helps us do a lot of fun things. I did want to go back to Nathan McKinnon, because I felt that he was kind of invisible Saturday against the United States. And going off today makes it for two guys that I never have questions. Shirt brother. Jack Eichel jersey. Shirt brother.
R.I.P. Biff Whiff. Nice.
Oh, yes. Hopefully no one's getting tattoos.
Nope.
I haven't gotten a tattoo all weekend.
Me neither.
Gotta respect the behavior. He's gonna see you naked. You just can't get it. But not that I'm ever worried about Connor McDavid, or that I'm ever particularly worried about Nathan McKinnon, but McKinnon and McDavid were two guys after Saturday's game where you're like, you need your best players to be your best players, and McKinnon was kind of invisible, and I'm the biggest Connor McDavid fan in the world. He got kind of scared. And in the game since, they've both gone off, and now they go into Thursday riding, hopefully, a hot hand. Ambassador to Greece asks Sean, your thoughts on Thomas Harley being from Syracuse, New York.
I was
you
going to
could
bring
give
that
a
up.
take.
Pride of Syracuse, New York. Listen, I don't blame him at all. If the Americans wanted to turn on him and force him to Canada, that's their fault. I'm still pro Thomas Harley. Shout out also Post Malone, another Pride of Syracuse, New York.
Anybody in the chat, also let us know which fights you would like to see from the United States and Canada on Thursday, because a lot of the chat, when they are not positively dicking around, because it's all you guys fucking do, is asking about who's going to fight, so you can get in there. But also keep dicking around. We love it. Somebody said something alliterative in the chat, so then there's like 40 messages in a row of people just using alliteration. Hammering it, if you will. What chaos matching tattoos when?
Never.
When Natalie's 100th super chat.
Yes.
KPG says, "Hey guys, Greg Turkington voice. What time Hurricanes on Thursday? I'm flying in from the game for the game from Toronto. Love the pod. We are going to be here Thursday as well, I believe. Haven't finalized it with our guy Nolan, but the plan was, if this thing went to a USA-Canada final, which we all kind of knew was going to happen, that we would be back here to get everybody ready for Thursday. So we will, in all likelihood, be here. Someone is yelling. It's not my shirt, brother. He wouldn't do such a thing. So yes, we'll let you know, KPG. We'll put out a graphic and all that.
As pointed out by several people in the chat, I think the ideal fight would be anything involving Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington fighting a skater, Jordan Binnington fighting Connor Hellebuck. I will take any Jordan Binnington fight in the final.
Do we know who is singing the American national anthem? Because if Jordan Binnington bopped Todd Angeli in the mouth, I wouldn't be for it, but that would certainly be spicy for the rivalry. And I think Todd Angeli, quite frankly, would be happy to get caught up in the rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
There would be Todd Angeli strikes me as the type to ask somebody if they want a piece of him.
He's also famously a bartender. Bartenders sometimes know how to fight.
Yes,
They know how to bar fight.
All right, so that's what we're saying is probably going to happen. Is Canadian goaltender Jordan Binnington is going to assault Boston Bruins anthem singer and bartender Todd Angeli, and Todd Angeli's going to take it like a man, and he's going to hang in there, and they are going to have a real fight.
And I believe ESPN is covering that game, so Ray Ferraro will be here, and he'll say, "Get off the ice."
Oh my God, I would need a cigarette after. If Jordan Binnington got into a fight with Boston Bruins anthem singer Todd Angeli, and then Ray Ferraro yelled at him to get the fuck off the ice, it would be one of the crowning moments in international hockey history. There are two gentlemen watching and listening to us. I'm pretty sure they have no idea who we are, and they just keep making faces and laughing. They're like, what is this show?
Fuck yeah. They look sold.
People are now giving money to us, saying to get tattoos. Hey, thank you very much, says the man in the Sharks hat. You guys know Cody Ceci? He used to play for them. So I'll tell you what, the chat is loving the idea of this Todd Angeli-Jordan Binnington fight, and most people are picking Todd Angeli.
I mean, that does, he has some weight on him. I think that he would crush Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington, fake tough guy. I'll take Todd Angeli.
Also, you
every
got to
time.
remember, Todd's got his feet on a carpet, on a rug. All you got to do is get Jordan off his balance, and he's falling on the ice.
That's so true.
And then he turns and he points at the goalie and he points at the lines, and then
he's doing that.
Yeah.
I said this on Saturday. Give me a Torts versus John Cooper fight.
Dude, I thought we were so close to getting Torts going over the bench, like Lindy Ruff versus the Senator style, and I got so hyped.
Okay, we are getting a lot of suggestions as to who should sing the national anthem on Thursday, so let's just make that the show topic right now.
Well,
great suggestion was Jack Edwards.
Okay. What was the sporting event? Was it the World Series? Was it the Red Sox? Somebody had the ex-girlfriend of a player.
That was the Cleveland Indians in the 2007 ALCS, flew in a girl with whom Red Sox pitcher Josh Beckett had slept to sing the national anthem. And to that I say, Cleveland, then Indians,
I know.
Yeah, that's a whole raucous.
That is,
round of applause.
we didn't use the term out of pocket back then, but that is the most out of pocket thing an organization of any kind could do.
I'm not saying that they should dig into like who Jordan Binnington may have dated in the past, but it's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I'm trying. Who has Jordan Binnington had tussles with?
Nobody, because he's a coward.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't want that smoke.
He almost fought Marc-Andre Fleury, and then officials got in the way, and then he was like, "Oh, I guess I can't fight. The officials are here."
So Marc-Andre Fleury sings the American national anthem on Thursday.
Yes.
Who says no?
Which would be a double whammy for Canada.
Yes.
Because they think that they're bringing him in to pump up Canada, but then you say, no, it's just to get in Jordan Binnington's head.
They
That's
can
like an
also
all-time
just
deal term.
bring in beloved Canadians to sing the U.S. national anthem. Although that more should be a thing they should have done in Canada, where it's like, you're bring back the Nordiques. That's what I'm saying, brother. That's my idea. That's my take.
Oh, get Nazem Kadri to sing the national anthem.
You have piss? Oh, adopt pets.
Yes.
Oh, Marco. I didn't recognize him. He said adopt pets. He did not say I've got piss.
Well, that would be more on brand for the show to say adopt piss. Nazem Kadri to sing the national anthem and then throw a water bottle at Jordan Binnington right before the game starts. 100%.
Yeah. I like, KBG says Jack Edwards sings the U.S. national anthem. Bobby Orr sings Canada's national anthem. There you go. Binnington versus Bieber. Let's finally make it happen. Beloved Canadian Sidney Crosby could sing the American national anthem. Malcolm Subban did it.
That's true. He did.
The chat is saying that I was right the first time. He has piss. You have
he does
piss.
have piss. Big time.
We have a few super chats.
What do we got?
Yeah, give it to me. Stacy says, tattoo peer pressure for the win. Do we,
Adopting
what else?
piss would be crazy, says Avery. Shout out Avery.
Adopting piss would be crazy. The tattoo would have to be of piss. It would be the What Chaos Zamboni dog, or I'm sorry, the hockey truck dog. And then normally there's like a page tear thing. It would just be like a splash of piss behind it.
We also got a super chat from Tessa. Said, add this to Natalie's total.
Man.
So shout out. And then we got Love Your Life. Nothing cancel worthy. Said crazy amounts of Louis Real Petit hero slander. We discussed this time last year. He was like an important figure in like Canada's founding essentially, and he was like exiled from Canada and lived in Montana for a little bit. Was elected to the House 3 times, but could never return to Canada because he feared for his life. And then I don't know.
Oh, I know all about
But it's
this
his
guy.
day. It's his day in Canada, I guess.
He was a Canadian politician, a founder of the
right.
province of Manitoba, and a political leader of the Métis people. And actually, famously, he led 2 resistance movements against the government of Canada and its first prime minister, John A. Macdonald. And he did a lot of other things. I could just tell you sections of stuff about this guy right now.
That Wikipedia page is so long.
Yeah, I read this on the show last year. I remember it. And like I said, he was born in the Montana, or he was married in the Montana territory. Montana wasn't even a state yet.
One of his the sections of his Wikipedia page is exile and mental illness. That's got to be packed.
Metal.
That's
metal.
That's really
crazy.
good. Gina says, how about Sarah Palin sings the national anthem? The question is, which anthem? Because
The Russian anthem.
she'd probably
obviously.
sing the Russian
That's
anthem
true.
given the proximity of it to her house.
Personally, I think we should avoid the anthem, the whole thing. We should just skip the anthems, and we should have Elliot Friedman out on the ice, tarps off, rubbing his nipples for like 2 minutes.
I love that. I wouldn't mind if America flipped the script on Canada, because for their Flag Day, they had the Canadians just sing the anthem. Just have the crowd sing the U.S. anthem. That would rock. And then just be like, and now also sing the Canadian anthem. And then we just butcher it.
Oh, That would be crazy to just be like, all right, we'll let you sing the Canadian national anthem, and it's just 3 minutes of silence. They choose not to. And it's like, okay, now sing the American national anthem, and they go crazy. That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Okay, we're going to take our final call for suggestions for the national anthem singer on Thursday, because that is absolutely the biggest takeaway and the biggest talking point of hockey today. We're very excited for USA-Sweden coming up later, and yes, it is technically a meaningless game, but we get to see Chris Kreider, we get to see Jake Ottinger, we get to see what kind of fight Sweden puts up in the final game, because this is the first time, boys, that a team could do it's just the All-Star break kind of thing. And that would kind of suck because the intensity in all these games has been so good, but this is the one time that we actually could see a team be like, let's just nobody get hurt.
I don't see that happening. I think they're still going to play pretty hard, especially with it being back in Boston. Like, it's a new crowd. They're still putting on the jersey. They want to carry momentum into the final. I don't see it being a dud.
Yeah, especially I think after the anthem, like the first time they're hearing the anthem in the States, it's probably going to get them going. And I think, like I said earlier, I think Sweden is going to come in wanting to win the game, and you're going to be forced to kind of match that intensity to a certain extent.
Plus, like, these guys have been waiting 9 years to play best on best, and you've got 4 opportunities to wear the jersey in this tournament. You're gonna toss one away just because you're already secured your spot.
Plus,
I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Plus, they know they have Canada next, and I don't think they are gonna want to just like fuck around and get out of their groove.
Well, on the Sweden thing, I think you raise a good point, Sean, about like you're gonna hear the you were talking about the anthem for USA. I think that Sweden, they're gonna have like family here. Like, this is probably a big deal to so many of those guys for so many reasons anyway. So I think they're going to try. And I think for the United States, what gets interesting is we now get on perfect season watch with USA, because they're going to be in the final. They could do it with a perfect season, which is a little scary for me, or they could do it as a hard hat working man. Hey, we're just some 2-1 guys trying to be given a chance out here. Maybe they throw it so they are not on undefeated season watch.
Last thing you want is a Boston-based team being undefeated going into the championship.
That's what I'm saying, Sean.
Shut the fuck up, Sean.
Let's go, Eli.
Last thing you want is a Boston-based team being undefeated going into the championship. A Boston-based team in Boston with everything on the line against Jordan Binnington, or really just earmuffs, everybody. Just like a Boston-based team in a final.
I mean, you can't really say that. It's the title town. They win most of them.
Oh, in the final of a hockey game at the Garden.
Yeah, I guess I'll give you that one.
On a night where it gets awarded. Last 2 ones of those in Boston, not amazing. Just saying.
Way to bring the vibe down.
More piss talk.
Brought the vibe up for me.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar for the anthems. I'll tell you what. After watching Lil Wayne do the SNL thing last night, I would say Lil Wayne for the anthem. Tate McRae, of course. Stan could sing it. Lorne Michaels. Snoop Dogg. Beetlejuice.
I think I've had enough of the anthem stuff, because I think that nothing beats Sean's idea, which is just
let the people do it.
Just give it up to the people.
You put the lyrics on the board so they know.
They have it. Yeah, they have a choice. They know ball. They can just do karaoke if they want to.
I mean, I know every word to the Canadian national anthem, and I normally will sing it at, like, specifically Sabres games, because they play the Canadian national anthem for every game.
Yeah, I think
I'm not going to be able to sing it this time, though. Like, as much as I want to, because it's a good anthem. I'm going to have to hold out.
Everybody smash subscribe and like on this video if you have not done so yet and you are watching on YouTube, and sure you are subscribed everywhere. My vote is going to be if he fight Jordan Binnington. I will be pissed if Todd Angeli sings it. I don't know. Maybe do we know he might be singing it tonight? Maybe he could just like turn and throw a couple of these Sweden's way, just to give Binnington the heads up, like, hey, I sing and I fight. So if you're not a coward, you want to drop him off the anthem, I'm there. I'm ready. Coward. Let's see. We're going to dip out in just a minute here, but we will be back previewing USA-Sweden in just a little bit. We are at Hurricanes at the Garden in Boston on Canal Street. So if you want to stop by and hang out, snap some pictures, see us do our stream, get ready for USA Sweden, we will be here. Thank you to Bauer for sponsoring this stream and everything we are doing Four Nations wise. Check out the sale page at Bauer.com. They are just chock full of amazing stuff. Canada USA in the final on Thursday. That's what this is all leading towards, but there's plenty more coming here at Hurricanes. Any final thoughts, Pete?
No, I'm just I'm very excited for the game tonight, but now it's impossible not to just be like, get me to Thursday.
Yeah. I mean, the atmosphere getting ready for USA Sweden right now is crazy. I'm sure Sean is doing excellent work to make what you're hearing not noisy, but it is deafening in here.
Very loud.
So we're pumped. We'll be back in, I don't know, let's call it an hour or something. Yeah, an hour-ish, and get you ready for USA Sweden. You know where to find us. Appreciate y'all. Talk soon.
We all silly like the mayor.